Hello and welcome to a brand new series here on Sim Broadcast. It's not a new series in Live for Speed, it's been around for 2 seasons now. This is season 2 of the Street Obsessions Racing League, and we are covering the finale, the final round here on our channel with the Formula 60 mod, a great mod created by Faku at Aston North. I'm Peter Butcher, you're watching Sim Broadcast on Twitch or YouTube, and tonight I'm joined in the commentary box by Owen Harmon of RTFR and RTFR XL fame. Owen, welcome along. This is going to be a great event.
Appreciate the introduction, Pete. It is a very exciting finale for this 2022 Street Obsessions Racing League, and I absolutely agree it should be a cracker.
Yeah, it should be a cracker. Let's get the viewers up to speed with what this series is all about. Street Obsessions are a team who are most synonymous with the TC City driving servers. They are a cruise team primarily. They started out there a number of years ago and have broken out into the racing scene with their own racing league, the Street Obsessions Racing League. As I mentioned, this is the second season, and there's a fair number of participants that have taken part in this championship. It's a little less well known, and tonight we are at the infamous Aston North. We will have 15 minutes of qualifying, which has literally just begun. The cars are on their outlaps, and we will then have a 20-lap race beginning at 1/4 to the hour, 18:45. And we reckon the race is going to be more than 40 minutes. It's going to go on for about that length of time. It's a relatively fast 5.2 kilometre, 3.2 mile track, which is going to put the Formula V through its paces. It's a slow car, but it's not too slow, and the curbs and the corners and the twists and the turns, as well as the straights, are really going to put it through its paces. Those of you who are not familiar with the car, it is based on the Formula V by Faku 23 in Live for Speed, a great looking mod. It's got a 1.3 litre flat 4, it's rear wheel drive, has 66 brake horsepower, so not a lot of power, but it only weighs 406 kilos, so a bit punchy, Owen.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, you've got the engine right beneath the driver there, the gearbox is all sticking out. So, and the small tires as well makes a big difference. I'd imagine if the drivers want to put right on the edge of the grass, they can probably risk it. And side-by-side action should be very, very possible.
Side-by-side action definitely possible. It's around about the speed of GTIs, I reckon, is most comparable. And we know what sort of wheel-to-wheel racing we can get from GTIs. Our normal Thursday evening racing action is normally the Fragmasters GTI Thursday race, which is happening right now, in fact. However, we are covering this, so a bit of a change. And spread the love, as we say, spread the love. So that is the car we're going to be using. Let's have a look at the championship standings. Now, we've only got usernames, so you'll have to do a little bit of translation in your head, but we have CRT7 leading the way, Gustav OGR in second place, and Denken Plays and Piggy501, TCR Nick there in P4. And yeah, it's pretty close in kind of the P2 downwards, but it looks like CRT7 is on his way to lock up this championship tonight. 19 drivers who scored a point on our, 19 drivers who have scored a point in the championship, and that's how it currently stands. Plenty of familiar names you're going to see out there on the track, and maybe some names you haven't seen before. And Owen, that's always interesting for us, the unknown, the drivers we do not know normally. We've got a lot of drivers who normally play on the Cruise service, on the TC servers mainly. Of course, Street Obsessions being a TC City Driving affiliate team, they are of they enjoy cruising and they are trying their hand at racing. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yeah. You can see, as you've mentioned, CRT7 has that buffer in the championship, but based off the point system, I had a brief look at it. It's really a case where if you finish well, that is going to give you the advantage. But if you finish, let's say, 10 positions behind your opponent, you'll be cut off a little bit. But I'd say there is a chance of a championship looking a bit different at the end of this evening than what it is now.
Well, you're absolutely right. Let's see what goes down. We are now on the track. The drivers are about to finish their first lap of qualifying. Some of the cars just entering onto the back straight. I think that's TCR Nick that we're looking at there. But let's have a look down the order and see who we've got on the track this evening. Again, I said a lot of names you're not going to recognise. SO there is the tag of the Street Obsessions team. So just to familiarise yourself with that. A lot of the drivers from SO here: Carlson, Ray, Ramneborg, and Kairos here. A couple of the Team America drivers here as well. In fact, I think we've got 3 of those. Leandro 911 from Furtive Junior is here. We've got Owner, who you'll be familiar with if you watch our RTFR content.
Yeah, and Joyner as well.
And Joyner as well, yeah. Here is Leandro, just coming up to finish his first lap, and we should get some times very soon as Nick sets the opening lap time, a 2-minute 31.34. So this is going to be a lengthy old race, this, Owen. This car setting 2-minute 30 lap times, where you have a 20-lap race this afternoon. Leandro 911 goes P2. BMI TZU in P3. Carlson, Jenny SG, and Ali 6 cars so far. As Leandro, he has decided to leave the pits again with a fresh set of tyres. Clearly not happy that the tyres, with the tyres after 2 laps, because obviously you have to do an out lap and then a hot lap. They're only going to get a chance to do another 2 or 3 laps, in fact, I think.
Yeah, the drivers should be planning to fill up the tanks for a few laps. That'll be my impression what they could be doing with this 2-minute 30 lap. Owner has actually broken into that 2:30 territory. If Leandro feels he can get in the out laps and hot laps again, that is certainly his choice. But I suspect the majority of drivers will need to use every minute they can, and that'll mean performing 3 or 4 hot laps.
Yeah, absolutely. That seems to be the case. Here is Lallaroo, currently P7, but the spread of times at the moment is pretty big. 8 or so seconds separating the 12 drivers who have currently set a lap time. Expect to see a few more times popping up on the board before we finish the session. Here is Kairos. A nice livery, that.
Yeah, it's smashing livery. The two-tone is complemented with the logo fantastically.
Yeah, it looks good. We need to pick someone for an onboard, Owen. So maybe we can choose someone who's near to the top of the timing sheets. It is TCR Nick. Here we go. He's going to come down the downhill chicane in this direction. Interestingly, we haven't covered a race at Aston North in its normal direction since the early 2021. I was shocked about that earlier when I actually checked the history books. It's been popular in the reverse direction, where the start-finish straight goes down the hill to the first kind of tight right hairpin.
Gosh, yeah, that's a mighty fact that you've uncovered for us, Pete, so thanks for that. But I do admire this challenge with the downhill run before the start-finish, and this tight left hairpin is definitely a thrill if you get it right.
Oh, that is not right.
Because not got it right this go around.
He's rallying. It's not the best way around the track, but there we are. The road tyres, of course, are not going to help you. well, they're going to help you more on the road, on the grass than they are on the road in that respect. But yeah, it makes the car really difficult to drive. Road tires in a kind of baby Formula car, no wings, of course, but yeah, and well, that's a point actually. No downforce either. That's why he found it quite difficult to navigate first corner. And as we always mention on our broadcast, Owen, Aston North it's got a slice of everything. If you want to test a car to its absolute limits, you bring it to Aston North.
You bet. It has everything you could ask for from a track, and you can't take it for granted either with the walls. They are very close to the racing surface at certain portions of the track. So if you overstep the mark, you're going to have to reset and have to cause yourself a bit of damage.
Yeah, 13 cars on the board right now. We do expect to see a couple more, as I mentioned. People just circulating. It's not the fastest car in the world, that is true, but it is going to be entertaining when those lights go out. We have all of our field charging down to the first corner. Leandro 911 improving to P3. And Dims there, P5 for 6 speed. And the 3 Team America drivers from 7th through 9th. Expect to see some improvements as well, Owen, from the Street Obsessions drivers. Currently P6, their best at the moment.
Yeah, the probably law of averages should hopefully play in their favour. They'll have more competitiveness as the session continues. As you said, Carlson is the best representative, and then they've got drivers in 11th, 12th and 14th. I'd say their best is still to come.
Yeah, this car really it struggles up the hills. The power is not enough to drag it up some of the hills that we have here, as Kairos is demonstrating there. We've only shown this mod on our channel once before, the Formula 60 mod, and that was during the Kesav round that we broadcast earlier in the year. Javko and I stayed up very late to cover that series. Quite uncouth hours for Europeans, but on a Monday evening if you're interested in the Kesav series. This is the season finale of the Street Obsessions Racing League, the second season thereof, but I hear whispers that there may be a third season, or a shorter third season, coming fairly soon, though that will be confirmed by members of the Street Obsessions team in due course. As Kairos makes his way up the hill and down it again, he's going to head into this really difficult downhill chicane. And it is an event in this car, even though they're only travelling at, as you can see on the dashboard, 87 down the hill. Definitely gets unsettled, and that's going to be difficult when they're in a pack.
Yeah, the K-Square driver may have the nose in front, and then their opponent has to make a decision: are they going to attack or hold off? Because going side by side with an unsettled car downhill and sharply to the left, then the right, that is a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely. An improvement there for Kairos. Jumping up to P10. Here's another Street Obsessions car. On the board, currently P11, just behind his teammate, and looking to improve on this lap. Very wide, actually. Not sure you need to go quite that wide in this car. It's not all that it's not all that fast, but anyway, we'll see. Smoothness is important in slow cars in Need for Speed, and in any racing formula and real life as well. If you've not got a lot of power, you need to be smooth. You can't be too erratic with the steering. You've got to make the line as short as possible and carry lots of speed through the corners, because it's going to take you a long time to get back up to speed if you take it too slowly. Here's Voronen, the number 69, coming up to one of my favourite corners in the entire game. In fact, it's going to be reprofiled, we believe, in the kind of reprofiling of Aston. It's going to be a double apex, right or left-hander, because obviously in LFS we have the benefit of having fictional tracks which can be run in either direction. But yeah, it will be a double apex corner, which will change it quite a lot, actually, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure it will make a big difference to the drivers once they get their first laps in anger around the reprofiled Aston. At the moment, yeah, the single apex just makes it a reasonable enough challenge. But yeah, we have seen in the past drivers going for big moves either down the hill or on the ordinary uphill curve to the right.
Absolutely. Voronen lifting, actually, as he went into the downhill, so possibly doesn't have the confidence in the car underneath him. I mean, it is a sketchy downhill complex, that, and a bit wide at the final corner, and oversteer on the exit. This car is difficult, even though it presents a seemingly less challenging challenge, for want of a better word. Some of the drivers are actually struggling with this car. It is not as easy as it looks. 13th only for Voronen as he comes across the line, and it is still Ona who is topping the timesheets at the moment. He's not even on the track. That's how complacent he's feeling this afternoon.
He must feel the job's done. He can focus on the race setup. I did notice briefly that Street Obsessions Ray has improved to P11. This will be his last opportunity to set a hot lap. As he crossed the line just about 40 seconds ago. So yeah, it's good enough effort, but again, the hosts of the race will be disappointed if they can't get anyone into the top 5. Lallaroo there is now 8th at a 2:33. We'll see if anyone can find that few extra moments that can get them up the grid with the time now expired.
Coming across the line is Nick. In a moment's time, actually, he's coming around the final corner to set his final lap of the session. He stayed out the whole time. He led the first attempt, and let's see if he can improve. 1.7 seconds. That's quite a vast gap at the moment to Ona. Let's see if he can improve. He does by 0.2 of a second, but only P2. Front row provisionally, but Ona with the pace. Ona didn't go out for another lap. Here he is in the pit lane. But here's our provisional pole sitter. Lallaroo will be the final car to set a lap. He's currently, actually, I think he has aborted potentially. But Genius is at the final corner now in P9 provisionally. His fastest so far, a 2:34.09 in the hot dog skin. I think I've seen that before, but works quite well on this car. And he improves by 2 positions up to P7. Good effort on his final lap. Out of the final corner comes Ramneborg for Street Obsessions. P12, can he improve? He cannot, so he remains at the bottom of the SO order there. P number 12. Joyner will be our final car. Lallaroo has aborted his run, and in single seaters, Joyner is always sporting this Singularity black lid. I think they call that paint black V3 or Vantum black or something like that.
Yeah, it's an extraordinary look when you get a bit closer to the helmet. It's just a pure black dot.
Well, there we go. Across the line, will it be an improvement? Yes, P5, so a late change, and leaving it to the absolute last moment to improve, dropping Dims down to P6. That is everything. That is our qualifying session wrapped. So let's run down the full order as they are classified. On pole position, it's Ona, the number 31, starting in P number 1, a 2:29.61, some 1.5 seconds faster than TC Racing's Nick in the number 27. Then it's Leandro 911 for Furtive Jr. in P3, with VM Zhu in P4, so that's the second row done. Team America Joyner, the fastest of the Team America drivers, starts in P5, with 6-speed Dims in P6. Team America's Jenny SG in P7, with D. Carlson for Street Obsessions in P8. Team America's Lallaroo, P9th, only for him. He would have hoped for better, I'm sure, alongside A. Kairos for Street Obsessions in P10. Ray in P11 for Street Obsessions, with Ramneborg in P12, Vrorin in P13, and rounding out our 14 starters will be Ali, the number 38 for KBR. Owen, we've got quite a racing prospect here. It's a short run down to turn number 1 on this circuit, but we're normally left with quite the drama, aren't we?
Yeah, I believe there will be plenty of room for drama. Owner having such a stonking pole position time, he's probably put the target on his back, and the drivers in the top 5 in particular will be anxious to see if they can figure a way to get past Owner with the opening corners offering the chances for overtakes.
Absolutely. We are running a few minutes behind. The qualifying session took slightly longer than expected because of the, how slow the car is, frankly, around here. So it has drawn on a bit. We are running a bit behind the times presented there, but we are waiting for a 20-lap race with the Formula V-inspired Formula 60 mod in Live for Speed. Here's the track, Aston North. Most of you will be familiar with it. If you're not, there's the track map. It's complicated. There's a lot of different turns. We talk about this a lot. It's got straights, it's got hairpins, it's got ups, it's got downs, everything you want to test a car. So good stuff there. And here is the car. An excellent mod put together by Faku23, 1.3 litre flat 4, rear wheel drive, 66 horsepower, but only weighing 400 kilograms. So not too much of a slouch. It's difficult, but it's, it is what it is. Roni has predicted that this will be a 50-minute race, so the drivers are going to have to endure this race. Lots of room for error, especially with 14 of them thundering around. So let's get on with it as the drivers take to the grid.
Feel the curvature of the back straight here, Pete. The drivers third down are certainly having to angle their positions, but let's wait for the green light, and away they go. It looks like Leandro's going to pull inside. Nick will not be too pleased to see Owner with that kind of getaway, but with a car and a half's length clear into the opening braking zone. Leandro, he's touched with Nick there, but he gets away with it. More contact in the back. Wide goes Dims. He's caught it though. Unfortunately, Ramneborg and Ali are cut adrift, but it is now Nick applying the pressure. He's gotten closer to Owner now with the third consecutive acute angle of a corner. A bit wobbling there for Leandro. That was close, and was that Joyner? Yeah, Joyner has lost place, so it's unlucky. But yeah, I think Nick has this fantastic opportunity, Pete. Can he go for the lead here?
He certainly can. Absolutely mashed the start. Apologies for the freeze frame at the beginning there. A little bit of a technical difficulty, but we're away, finally. Woohoo. Yes, Nick is all over the back of Owner and looking to go for the move on the inside, and he makes it stick. There we go. As we head down onto the bottom part of the circuit, the lowest part of the circuit. And Nick currently leading the way ahead of the number 31 of Owner. Then it's Leandro 911 and Zoo.
Yeah, I've no doubt in my mind that Owner opened up the racing line to Nick. Nick said thank you very much. But I also believe that Owner will be ready to pounce again when the opportunity is right.
Yeah, Dim's in the slipstream. There's no downforce in these cars, so you're relying purely on the car in front punching a hole in the air. Now he pulls out and will be in the perfect position for the right-hander, the chicane that's coming up. So the Street Obsessions car has the advantage for now and will swing into fourth place. There he goes.
Yeah, solid move. Sue was a really good qualifier, and being this close to the pack. Oh no, he takes a slight cut out of the corkscrew, but he's okay. Avoided the tire barrier or any other opponents. Now let's look back to Carlson, Lalarue, and Joyner. They'll be going 3 abreast down the straight. Carlson slow out of the final hairpin, and he's now going to have to concede to Joyner.
Yeah, so Carlson, after a promising first lap, dropping down again slightly. There was a slight flicker of a battle between Leandro and Dims, and it looks like Dims has caught up to the back of Leandro quite quickly after dealing with two. But we'll have to keep an eye on it because, well, we're into the hairpins now, and this is the place where the car can become. You can see the men separated from the boys, so to speak, because it's quite difficult to get the power down out of the hairpins in an effective way, and it looks like we have bunching up both on the first and second positions as well as third and fourth. Let's stick with the lead. Owner's backed out of it, in fact. He doesn't want to go for the move there, but no such luck for Leandro 911. Dims is all over him. He's trying to find a way through, choosing alternate lines through the sweeps here.
Honor is shadowing Nick here. This is where the lead changed a lap ago, but Honor is not willing to take the early initiative like Nick was, so it's a tactical game, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, these two are utilising this. They're going to be utilising the slipstream. If you end up in this car on your own, you do lose out. You have quite a disadvantage because there's no one to punch the hole in the air. Nick using all the AstroTurf to try and break the slipstream before we go onto the longest straight on the Aston North configuration. Owner feeling though he has to drop a gear in order to get the best run. Nick did not drop a gear, and look at that, the overspeed that Owner's managed to get there. Well, he's backing out again. He doesn't want to go past too early. Will he go out now, I wonder, or is he just going to sit behind Nick? That's an interesting strategy.
No, they're equalised. The speed is equalised. There's no chance for a move here.
Oh, I see. He's maxed it out. I couldn't quite hear that on my through my headphones, but interesting. So they actually reached V max. Possibly then the drivers have not fine-tuned the setup. Interesting. That could play into someone else's hands further down if someone else has managed to tune the gearing to make the fourth gear slightly longer to avoid that. But it doesn't look like anyone's threatening the top two at the moment. Leandro 911 certainly has the advantage on Dims at the moment, as the lead two are going side by side. So this is where Owner's decided he's going to pounce. He's going to try and go around the outside. That's surely not going to work. Tries a cutback for the inside.
Cutback, yeah. And Nick has placed the car very well. Any chance for a second cutback? I can't see it coming yet. You can see with the opening, the alternate route there, if that was the layout, you'd be going that way, but it gives Nick a little bit more maneuverability out of the corner. But this is the one I think is challenging for this Formula V car the most, with that cutting in of the curbs and then it turns to the right. That is very challenging.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's Joyner getting loose.
Yeah, Joyner with a slightly laggier connection today. Jumping around a little bit more on our cameras here. But still here, thankfully. Here is Kairos, who we watched quite a lot in qualifying. Currently leading a little group. Genius G in P10. Vorinen in P11 and Ray here in P12. This little group sticking together. Someone going very wide in the background. That was Ali. And speaking of the devil, Genius is going for that move on the inside of Kairos as we head into the bottom of the track. Oh, goodness me, getting very sideways. And very sideways again on the exit. You don't expect to see this car being quite so lively, Owen, but alas.
Yeah, we thought in qualifying we would see all kinds of sliding around, and it's proven to be the case. Those road supers you brought up previously, I think they are a clinical reason why, because of how rock solid they are. They wouldn't give you the heat cycle that a slick tire would give you.
Yeah, see now, Owner's not managed to get into the slipstream of Nick this time, which means he's gone up the rev range entirely and hasn't run out of juice at the top of the hill. So maybe the drivers did fine-tune their gearing, but not while slipstreaming another car.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. The benefit of the slipstream, if you're topping out too soon, it's possible, but we'll have to see what other drivers have done with their setups and see if there is a pattern emerging.
Well, it certainly is the case with Owner. We don't know whether Nick has any more rev range, of course, because he was leading at that time. He didn't have anyone punching a hole in the air for him. So maybe if Nick drops behind Owner, we might see him able to pass. It's a potential. But anyway, Nick sets the fastest lap on lap number 3. And we have a battle further down between Ray and Vuorinen now as well. Close together, coming out of the first corner. A little bit wider now. Ray a bit... Ray overtook going in there. So he has managed to promote himself to P11.
Owner got very close to the third corner, the exit. But Nick has pulled away again. That fastest lap was actually 2 minutes 30.89. So yeah, that's the benchmark now. It's certainly not close. The pole position time was about a second a bit quicker than that, wasn't it?
Yes, in fact it was. But these cars will be heavy on fuel. It's a 50-minute race, and the fuel tank will last that long. In no other race this season has a driver needed to pit. The races they haven't been timed. They have been, it's a distance. They're calculated by distance, the race lengths, and it is 100 kilometers. So just to give it, put it in perspective, these drivers will be going roughly 100 kilometers. And Owner again in the slipstream. In fact, no, he's not in the slipstream. He's not even pulled across to where Nick is. So he's given up a little bit of time. And Chris in our ears, who joins us, always giving us the inside information on all the drivers and the race, how it's going, says that he thinks Nick has longer gears. So if this was a reversed situation, Nick would be in an advantage there.
Yeah, we have the benefit of the ordinary rev counter, whereas the driver on boards, if they're using first person, they only have the lights to offer them the guide to shift with their revs. But Owner is going to be close again, but now we're briefly switching over to Carlson and Lallarue. Carlson getting ahead. Lallarue will plant the counter attack. Another fast lap for Owner this time. So these cars are getting better and better.
Yeah, as we go on board with Lallarue, he's going to have a clean inside line if he wants it. Carlson going quite deep, might be attempting the switch back. He does. Yes, he does. Almost didn't. Almost ran into the back of Lallarue there as they go again side by side into turn 2. Nick's gone wide at the front, and that's going to allow Owner a sniff. Not quite. Close, but still side by side. We have Lallarue and Carlson. Carlson has a wider line. This is going to help him at this hairpin. Again, he slides. He can't get past.
Yeah, the fine margins of error. It's really hard to exploit them if they happen so close to you. You really do want that extra oomph. You're not going to get it, I'm afraid. It's really a more thorough examination of your driving skills with these kind of cars.
Yeah, they can definitely highlight the flaws in your driving style. That is fair to say. Now here we go. Owner again in the slipstream. Now we know Nick has longer gears. We know that it's not likely that Owner's going to get past at the end of a straight. So he needs to do it at the beginning. And look, he's realised he's gone for the move early this time. So we will surely see what that longer fourth gear advantage is going to mean for Nick as we go through this race. These two firmly out front, 1.7 seconds the gap to Leandro. And look at this. Nick pulls out the slipstream super early and is able to just drive by, is he? They're side by side as the car is power limited heading to the brow of the hill. But as soon as we go over the brow of the hill, Nick able to edge ahead slightly and Owner has to tuck back in. So significant setup advantage for Nick.
That's Ali timed out of the race. That's our first driver casualty at the moment. It's really unfortunate, but this lead battle has to continue to engross me anyway. It's Nick back in the lead, having that extra decimal point in his 99 miles an hour before hitting the brakes. And now with Owner's better acceleration, he's on the inside line for turn 1.
We said it was going to be wheel-to-wheel racing, and these two are proving it. Since the lights went out, they've been side by side pretty much. And now it's Owner back in the lead, on to lap 6. Further situation
Leandro way on the grass. I was looking at Nick's onboard, but the mirrors saw a purple car just grinding it on the grass. So thankfully he was able to return onto the racing line, and that's another purple car wide. It's Lallarue.
Yeah, he was ahead of Carlson, but he was hit by his teammate Joyner. Joyner decided to have a collision with his teammate in the hope that he would get closer and overtake Carlson. So there we are, a little bit of inter-team rivalry as Joyner goes for a big send, cuts the corner, somehow gets the power down more effectively. But Lallarue spun it.
Really struggling now. 2 spins or loss of traction there in 3 corners. So Kairos for Street Obsessions can see the Team America car and will be plotting a move post haste.
Yeah, it's certainly not over, is it? When you see a driver dropping it ahead, it fills you with, it gives you a little bit more energy, especially if the gap ahead has been growing or you can't see any cars ahead. It's a boost in energy. So Kairos, he needs to keep his head down and try and close up to the back of Lallarue, who's clearly starting to struggle, maybe slightly frustrated by the incident with his teammate earlier. Speaking of his teammate, Carlson is closing back up, but we need to pay attention to our leaders because yet again Nick is in the slipstream of Owner as we head onto the back straight. And just look at that, there's no competition there, is there? Nick just has the advantages on the straight.
Yeah, the uphill does spare Owner a little bit, and then the drop down is also very beneficial to Nick. So you can certainly figure out your moves, like which part of the back straight you're more comfortable with. So Nick likes the uphill and the middle part, whereas Owner would rather the boost you get from the downhill. So he's going to try it on the outside on turn 18, the final corner. No luck, but obviously he'll have a chance when the surface is level again.
Yeah, we're getting pretty technical here, but what you described there is that it could be a symptom and not a cause, because it depends how Nick has managed to get the extra legs in 4th gear. If he's changed the final drive, then Owner is going to have advantages in the slower corners, as we see here. Look, he's able to get alongside and potentially draw alongside into the braking zones. A little bit, he botched his exit slightly there, so not a good example. But if Nick's used the final drive to extend all of his gears, then that's going to be a disadvantage to Owner in the slower corners.
Right, yeah. We'll see Nick getting the rear tyres a little bit drifting out. Yeah, I do believe these drivers are so evenly matched. It's really a case of what their setups are allowing them to do. That's Carlson again in front of Joyner. Joyner is going to lunge. You could feel that one a mile away, I have to say.
Yeah, he's been lunging left, right, and centre, and he's not giving up against Carlson, is he? Carlson has to sit in behind now. We've got the leaders side by side. This isn't a shock anymore, is it? We're 7 laps deep, but it's going to be a theme as Owner goes very sideways. Nick will be loving this. He loves this sort of racing, wheel-to-wheel action, clean wheel-to-wheel action as well. Touch wood.
Yeah, I've seen nothing but good from these leaders so far. They've been very competitive, but they've not gotten into dangerous territory or anything silly. So well done to them.
Absolutely. Now that's quite a deficit that Nick has as we head onto the back straight, but I reckon it's going to close up pretty quick. Let's see how powerful the slipstream is in these cars then, as they make their way up the hill. Is Nick too far away? I think he might be on this occasion. So good job from Owner on that lap to break Nick's advantage.
Yeah, the gap is too big for the slipstream this go around. Leandro there, best of the rest, has dims for competition. Leandro must be frustrated seeing the top 2 guys get so far away, but now we have another example of Carlson and Lallarue, Joyner swapping places. Yeah, my apologies there. Here's a third chance for Joyner to go through on this probably sector, even though Carlson blocks it.
Oh, squeezed.
Oh, he's overdone it. Watch out.
Well held. Oh my goodness me. Well, he tried to push Joyner off slightly and ended up going off himself and joining up the inside. Carlson, too much slide on exit, but somehow, oh, hello. Oh, no, there we go. Lagging again, throwing me off. But yeah, with somehow a better exit for Carlson and manages to get back ahead.
Oh, something must have happened to Nick. He's dropped off 3 seconds to the leader.
Oh, goodness me. That must have been a spin. We'll get confirmation. Get confirmation of what happened to Nick. We missed it on the cameras, but that has to have been what, half spin or something. Cannot imagine anything else. Either that or he went to grab a Tunnocks. I do know that Nick loves a Tunnocks tea cake or a caramel wafer. I think that's his choice.
Yeah, very interesting. We don't get Tunnocks over here, unfortunately, on this side of the water.
We'll have to change that. I need to send you some. Anyway, Joyner is now the plug in our bottle. Nick went wide onto the grass somewhere in the first hairpins, which is why he is quite far down on owner now. Well, that makes it interesting. That makes our lead battle interesting again. They have work to do, both of them. As we see Joyner now leading Carlson, Lallarue, and Kairos, and Jenny SG, our resident hot dog.
In fairness, the 3 drivers behind this gaggle, Ramneborg, Ray, and Vernon, are all very close as well. So wherever you look, there's something that is worth our attention.
Yeah, this is fun because we don't often have races for last place. Obviously, there's always going to be a last place, but normally it's someone who's had to retire or they've dropped down. But this time we've got a 3-way fight for the back, which is always entertaining as well because you don't want to be the guy who finishes last, do you? Let's be honest. Ramneborg and Ray going side by side. We've got battles further up as well. Again, Joyner coming under pressure from Carlson. Lallarue waiting in the wings, preparing to mop up after any spills.
Yeah, this lap has treated Lallarue much more kindly. And now, yeah, Carlson does not seem to enjoy the 14-15 combo. It's put him off a few times that we've seen. So Lallarue is going to go for it. Lallarue, big dive. Oh, it was too... No, it was too late, unfortunately. Couldn't get Carlson to change direction. So now Joyner's under pressure.
For perspective, Owen, we're 20 minutes into this race, and look at the screen. Look at the screen. This car just, breeds side-by-side racing. We have a 3 wide. We have a 3 wide into the first hairpin. It's fantastic. And that is Lallarue making up for lost time. His teammate took him out at the next corner a few laps ago and dropped him back. But now he's managed to get past Carlson and Joyner. Carlson is not done with him yet, though. He's going to try and get him back. But look, 5 cars on your screen. This car really does offer some fantastic racing. Bit of a stat as we watch this battle unfold. In the chat, actually, from Roni, Nick, who's currently in P2 behind owner, is no stranger to side-by-side racing and recorded the closest ever finish in RTFR's history. RTFR being what was it on Tuesday? In the 293rd RTFR. So the closest ever finish in RTFR recorded by Nick was at the Rockingham Oval, actually, in the XFG.
My goodness, wow. Oh dear, that's genius. Taking to the scenery. Careful with the rejoin. Oh.
He's managed to find someone to have a crash with at the back, so he's got another battle. So everywhere you look, there's a car. And this time it was, who was that he was with? It was Kairos that he was with.
Kairos had no alternative. He was just minding his own business.
Yeah, had a face full of hot dog.
Splashed in front of his face.
Look at the gap the owner has got over Nick. That was a big error from Nick, and we're going to have to keep an eye on that gap because 3 seconds, 0.75. That's going up, if I'm not mistaken. That gap is increasing.
Yeah, it must be going up by a tenth or two. It was about 3 seconds when we noticed Nick's time loss. Carlson gets through on the back straight here. Lallarue has one more chance though. Will he pick the inside? Yes, he certainly will. And he is there. Back into 6th place. Gotta mind his P's and Q's here. Looks good, but Joyner, who was originally the main competition for Carlson, is now finding himself stuck in 8th.
Yeah, Carlson and Lallarue are the no holds barred here. They're going for a move at every corner, and it's slowing them down. Actually, Joyner is going to have another opportunity here to get through. Probably Lallarue will undoubtedly go for a send. Well, yeah, even before they've gone over start finish, he's making the move on the grass, kicking up grass. These guys are loving it. More side-by-side action as they head on to lap number 10. It's Lallarue with the advantage, but of course the switchback is on. Carlson is going to have a go around the outside. I should mention actually that in that side-by-side finish that Nick was involved in, he did win. He was on the favourable side of the closest ever finish in RTFR.
Yeah, that must be a fantastic buzz to see yourself claim the photo finish victory. But now Carlson is wedged in between the Team Americas.
Look at this. Fantastic three-wide situation. Whenever do we get this this far into a race? We're halfway through and we've still got cars that can't decide which position they want to be in the race. And we're looking directly from top down. Fantastic. Lallarue now deciding he wants to get through in the sweepers. And Jenny SG is back on the scene in the background, now fighting with Joyner. So it's all going on in the midfield. The lead has spread to 4.2 seconds. Nick's got trouble, surely. He's dropped half a second from Owner on this lap.
My word, yeah, Owner has put on the afterburners in the race lead, but for now we'll concentrate on this.
In fact, it's gone up to a second now, the gap between Nick and Owner again on this lap, 4.93 seconds. I think Nick is struggling, some issue potentially, but we'll have to investigate. Could have been an over rev potentially. That amount of time is unexplainable any other way, as Carlson really is showing Lallarue that he wants to get past. Hearing that Nick actually set a PB on the previous lap, so this is all down to Owner. There's no issue with Nick's car potentially, but it is Owner who is setting the ultimate pace now.
Yeah, Owner has completed a fastest lap at 2:29.82.
There we go. So yeah, we're into qualifying territory.
2:31. So yeah, it's feeling a bit uncomfortable now for Nick.
Well, fair play to Owner. Absolutely brilliant pace, and it is unusual for us to be stuck with a battle in the midfield for so long. But I don't mind it. Look at this. Jenny SG up 2 places, now into P9. All the cars struggling for grip out of there. So...
And Kyrus will be feeling pretty chuffed now. He can see a slim but potential path to the top of this queue. Because of the just constant bickering that Lallarue and Carlson are having. Genius G will be an unknown to these guys now that he's starting to feel a groove coming on now as Carlson goes high out of turn 2. Genius has used the curbing on the inside, so watch out. Yeah, Carlson gets in the middle now.
It's a great way of putting it, Owen. Bickering.
Yes.
Definitely is bickering. Squabbling. Bickering, all those words. As Jenny SG decides now is the time to go for a send. And, goodness me, it's not worked out. Slap from Carlson.
And there you go. Joyner has to relent as Kyrus has now got himself cleanly past Genius. So now it's a 2v3 situation between the two factions here.
Yeah, I think if you've just tuned in, this is the sort of race where you can tune in late. You see we're on map 11. You see 5 cars all fighting for the same piece of tarmac, and then you wish you were in the race, because I'm pretty sure you'd struggle to find any sim racer in LFS who doesn't enjoy this sort of thing. It is a thrill.
Yeah, Carlson is using the very limits of the white line there, but watch out for his teammate. That's the one person probably didn't want to see at that moment.
True.
May just be thinking, this rumble strip and AstroTurf can help me cut in. No, he's going to stay. Yeah, now he cuts in. It was a long apex for him. Genius is now competing with Kyrus. So, unfortunate for Joyner, he has to watch from a distance. You can't see him in this Micro Machines camera. Yeah, it feels just like that Game Boy series, I have to say. Let's see if Lallarue will go for an attack here. No, he won't. For now. Now he will.
We don't have a camera angle wide enough to watch this battle. So yeah, Chris, give me some wider camera angles. Oh, goodness me, contact in the background. It's all going off. And look at this. Joyner must be just so entertained at the back. He'll wish he was in amongst it, and he will be in a matter of seconds, I'm sure.
Yes, he's now involved. Kyrus has about a mile an hour disadvantage yet, so Joyner's cleanly through. Now Carlson, he's saying stay away now. Oh,
Lallarue turning in so early. He's giving him the squeeze on the apex. This is fantastic. Fantastic, savage racing, actually. Let's see. Lallarue forced this. He's managed to force it to get the inside, and he's rear-ended by Carlson. The frustration is starting to show. But it is like watching tiny insects fighting, isn't it, from this angle? The Micro Machines reference is much appreciated as Lallarue goes for another big send. This is not going to help.
Now it's Genius's turn. Lallarue has to concede to his teammates now. You can't afford that catastrophe to hit your own teammates out of the race. So it's Genius's turn to see if he can dethrone Carlson.
Yeah, it's like take your pick. Essentially, as Genius spears off.
Watch out!
Rejoin! Huge contact, massive crash, and it's Lallarue
out of the race.
Unbelievable rejoin that. I mean, the other drivers could have potentially yielded, but ultimately the blame has to rest with Genius, because I'm pretty sure he could have slowed down a little bit better than that. Before rejoining across the track. I mean, he had pace, but there's time to use the brakes, and that was the ultimate time to use the brake pedal. Unfortunate incident considering the battle was so good there, and it's been wiped out. So who did we lose then? We lost Lallarue, and who else was involved in that one, Owen?
Joyner's down to 11th place and second last, but the Street Obsessions cars are all okay. So, yeah.
So
Carlson,
his teammate then?
Yes, there was a teammate collision.
Yeah. Well, there we are. As he's really struggling with the car. He's got some significant damage now, dropping to last place. Genius rejoining the track has, flipped Lallarue, his teammate, and hampered Joyner. So, what is the number one rule in racing, Owen?
Never hit your teammate or
Correct.
teammates.
Yeah, well, teammates. I mean, unbelievable. Yes. You don't see it very often, but Team America with a friendly fire.
Vernon has a bad exit out of the corkscrew. Joyner will take advantage of that. Ray was also a bit loose out of the final corner, but I do believe your assessment of that car's health was correct. There is something ailing it, so Vernon is straight back through.
Yeah, he didn't pit. I mean, he's in a battle, so he needs to gauge his battle, but we'll see. He goes into the... Well, he goes for a move, and he's made it stick, so clearly he's got some pace in that. The damage probably mainly cosmetic. He does have a little bit of suspension damage, but not enough to pit, I'd say, at this point. At the moment, it is Owner, the number 31, setting the pace. He is 4.7 seconds now ahead of TC Racing's Nick, the number 27. In third place, it's Leandro 911, who has been there or thereabouts with Nick, but still 2.5 seconds adrift. May be able to catch up. Apparently, Nick has been pulling away, so that gap has been going up ever so slightly. So Leandro needs to find something if he wants to progress, but P3 is decent at the moment. Dims is the driver in the top of the race that has certainly dropped off up to 8 seconds now, the gap to the podium for him. Sue also in a bit of no man's land. He's got 3 seconds ahead of him, and then a whopping 32 seconds. 32 seconds, Owen. the gap between the top 5 and this man Carlson, who has been he's had everything thrown at him. To be fair, Lallarue sending it at every corner, Carlson deciding it's a good idea to send it straight back at the next corner, and that's what it costs you, 30 seconds.
Yeah, you do feel a bit sorry for Dims and Sue. They've just been minding their own business, having a good race, but because they're not close enough, they can't be, given the highlights that they deserve. But yeah, obviously the battle has now closed between Street Obsessions and Team America. I feel that's the pause on the battle for now. If maybe Ravnaborg and Ray catch Genius, that would be all I can expect there. Vornan and Joyner, they're reasonably close, and even Ray there in 10th could be caught up. While there's still a bit of time, Ray does get loose. You can see him there. He has to rescue a slide, and the punishment is felt there, having a left turn come up, and now the corkscrew. Oh, here comes Joyner. It's probably a bit too far back. But yeah, I'd say by turn 1 there'll be something happening here.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, the battle for last place is our closest battle on the entire track. So we're going to stay with this for a bit, because nobody wants to be where Vuren is right now. No one wants to be in that last place spot. So it's always an intense battle, especially when we have a fight for last. And Joyner, even though he's got an issue with his car, he's still got the pace to potentially stay out of that last place slot.
Actually, I beg your pardon, Dims is past Leandro.
Oh,
Something has happened to Leandro.
Yeah, absolutely nowhere.
Off kilt.
Yeah, it must have been an issue. Must have gone wide on the grass and had to slow down, or had an issue. But that is an unexpected change for the podium. The gap was huge. It was, what was it? 8? Did I say 8 seconds or 3 seconds? I think it was 3. I want to say so. Oh no, it was 8. Okay. So yeah, that's a big drop of the ball for Leandro. And well, you've got to be there. You've got to be there to pick up the pieces. And Dims, who drives for 6 Speed, another City Driving affiliate team, he was there, and that's all that matters. Sometimes you just got to keep doing clean laps.
Yeah, indeed, that is the truth. We'll see if Dims, with his first, immediate competitor for position for quite some time, he's going to feel the heat here. Oh, Leandro's too close. That was really risky. Out of turn 17, now the final corner. So reports from our liaison says that Leandro lost control on his own out of the last hairpin. That was turn 3, I believe. So his entire remainder of sector 2 was ruined.
Leandro has to go onto the grass because, well, he doesn't have to move, but Dims held his line, completely held his line. Leandro decided to overtake off the track on the curb, 2 wheels on the grass, and when it came to the braking zone, you saw what happened from his T-cam. He almost lost control, bumped the back of Dims, and now sits about a second behind. So, yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. And a lot of feisty driving today, Owen. I mean, the drivers are really wrestling this car and each other for track position.
That's correct, yeah. There might still be a few extra points on offer for the championship. And maybe if this carries on between Dims and Leandro, it might allow Sue the chance to catch up.
Owner is our championship leader, with Nick in P4 currently in the championship. So Owner, if he carries on like this, is guaranteed to be the series champion. If not, then we'll have to get our calculators out, which I don't really want to do. I'm quite tired already as it happens. And no, I'd get it out. I'd work it out what was going on. But yeah, Owner, if he carries on going, will be season champion.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, we never thought of that. But yeah, there you go.
He's 26 points ahead currently, so he'd have to do quite a lot to lose it. He's won every race this season so far. And, well, he's going the right way. He has 5 laps to go after this one. And we will see. As Nick has to make a cut, so that's Not going to help him at all. He's going to have dirt on his tyres as he heads into the downhill chicane. No such issue for him, though. But yeah, mistakes like that is why Owner is leading the way in the championship and the race. Things have quietened down since we had a big spill in the S's a couple of laps ago.
That's
Dims has
Dim's
gone
wide, though.
wide. Yeah, take it away, Owen.
Oh, Dims, I saw a little bit of a brake check. I could see his rear brake light flashing on my screen, and it means that Leandro can get by, but here's the counterattack that must have been in Dims's thought process. So he'll take the furthest outside line he can, then the cut inside. In the chat, Owner is apparently angry that he's not put enough fuel into his car.
Oh, now that's interesting. Yeah, that's huge. I mean, Chris reckons Owner would need a DNF in order to lose the championship in any way to one of his rivals. But, you know, it's frustrating if you think you've got to take a trip down pit lane, because even though it's a short pit lane, it's still going to cost you a lot of time. He could probably get in and out and still stay ahead of Leandro potentially, but Nick is going to be 10 seconds down the road, and you know what's going to happen. His next closest rival in the championship is Genius and Carlson, in that order. Carlson's in P6, Genius in P8, and Nick in P2. So Nick can't threaten for the championship, I don't think. But Carlson and Genius, well, could do. So Owner, he has to pit. He cannot afford to DNF.
Yeah, we're now joining in the battle for the third step on the podium at turn 11. Dims is now seeing that ambition disappear with Leandro through. But he's not giving up. He's using the AstroTurf. Leandro is weaving on his own, trying to maximize his entry into this sweeper of 12 and 13, and no, it's not gone to plan so far. Dims is back in front, but the slipstream will kick in when the track surface levels out. Now Leandro's ready for the inside approach, and yeah, Dims brakes first so he can then plant his own counter. And another bit of trouble for Joyner at the back. We'll wait for this opportunity to film Dims. I think he's lost a bit of time, but now Sue.
Yeah.
You can just see that Deutsche Post car in the distance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether putting a Deutsche Post livery on the car is a commentary on the postal system in Germany, but oh well, I'll leave that to the viewers. As we have another battle on between these two. And this is the thing, I think this is characteristic of this car at this track. There are so many places to overtake, unlike so many of the other tracks. Yeah,
every corner has some method that you could overtake on. The first sector is due to those tight hairpins to begin the lap, and then the sweepers in sector 2.
Oh, he's gone deep.
The straights. Oh, yeah, Dims and Leandro still so close.
Yeah, now, I've refrained from talking about this all race long, but I feel like the more I see it, the more I have to say it. In some of the more competitive series, should we say, more, series that we see on our screens week in, week out, the best names in the sim competing for the title, if we saw battling like this, we'd all be screaming at our screens saying they're losing time, they're losing time, they're losing time. But it's true. Sue is catching so much, and drivers that are driving at similar paces, they have to work together to secure points and to maintain gaps to cars that could potentially be a problem behind. So, yeah, we don't often see this much aggression on our channel. But it's a breath of fresh air, isn't it, to see some fighting? So, why not?
Yeah, exactly. But there is the time where being cordial with your side-by-side battles. It makes sense for 90% of the race, but it's that final 10%. You'll see it in real-life series all around the world, as well as sim racing.
Oh my
There
goodness
is a
me!
wheel-to-wheel.
What on earth happened there? It
There
looks
was a
like
front
Leandro.
right to rear left, and
Yeah,
Leandro
absolutely.
was on the grass and spun it.
Yeah, but he went for the move. He was alongside, but Dims just held his line. He's entitled to do it. But was he squeezed? I couldn't quite tell from the camera angle. But Leandro looping the car, and that's cost him a lot of time. Again, a lot of battling, and that's what you get, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was kind of looking half and half on what was going on there. I do believe Deems made the commitment to stay where he was. He wasn't on the right-hand side of the track and then turned left. It was Leandro wanted that.
Verdict from Chris. I heard Chris mention squeezed. It's a borderline move in our book. So, if the series organisers want to have a look at that, they can. But was he pushed? Was he squeezed? This was a battle for the podium, and we are running out of laps. I don't think Leandro. He's got the time. He's 10 seconds back. He hasn't got the time to catch up. So that could be one of the podium-defining moves of the race, unless Zhu can catch up in the dying laps. 2.5 seconds to go, and we will know. We will know what's happening in 3 laps' time. What we know pretty much for sure is that owner has to come in the pit lane. He thinks that himself. He thinks he's underfueled his car, which is crucial for the race result. Not so crucial for the championship. He should have it wrapped up. He shouldn't lose too much time in the pit lane, but it may be a glory day for Nick, Owen, if Nick has fueled enough.
Yes, this would bring an end to a winning streak here for owner if he does have to pit for fuel and cannot retrieve the lost time. So it would be huge for Nick. He's been the primary challenger all race long to owner's dominance. It was just unfortunate that their abilities to compete side by side, something happened to Nick with a corner exit, I believe, lost time, and he has not been able to catch back up since, but being in prime position to catch owner if he's made a fueling error, and he's a worthy winner if that's the case.
Absolutely. I mean, Roni nailed it in the chat, actually. Roni mentioned that because owner's pace in qualifying was just so much faster than everybody else, a 1.5 seconds faster in qualifying, Nick was just able to stick with owner at the beginning of the race in the slipstream, and as soon as he lost the slipstream and made the error, he had no one to pull him along, essentially. And the lap times kept going in the favour of owner, and that's why the gap is at 7.5 seconds. But, crucially, owner, with potentially a drop of the ball in preparation for the race, may have underfueled. We don't know for sure. He might be fuel saving. Doesn't look like it on his pace. But we will have to wait and see. He's leaving it pretty late if he wants to refuel. He's only 2-3 laps from the end. In fact, yeah.
Yeah, this will be the
half
penultimate lap, yes. Has to pit now if he is fearful of his fuel load.
Cannot afford a DNF. I'm not sure this series will backtrack and classify cars that do not finish. I don't think Genius G can gain enough points from his current racing position, so it might be fine, but would you want to risk it? I mean, do the maths.
Yeah, if it were me, yeah, obviously I would pit if I was worried about my remaining fuel. It's better safe than sorry, but if owner wants to, make absolutely certain he's been the supreme driver in this Street Obsessions Championship, then he'll want to win and put that exclamation point on it. But we just don't know for sure. We can only look at his tire temperatures and things like that. We don't have the fuel meter available.
Yeah, judging by his driving style, currently, he's not fuel saving. So the crucial piece of information is which way he turns his wheel in 3 corners time. Does he go in the pits or will he stay out? Let's see. That will define the end of this race. He is unlikely to come out behind Dims. The pit lane is not that long. But we will see. Will Nick get an unexpected victory here? Or will owner stay out a lap and pray that he has enough gasoline in his tank. Let's see. Final corner coming up. The gap has come down to 6.9. Is that an indicator of fuel saving, or is it an indicator the owner is thinking inside that helmet? What does he want to do? What does he want to do? Here's the decision point. He's staying out. He thinks he's got enough. Oh. Maybe he was giving the commentary team false hope of an exciting finish between our top two. Or maybe he was genuinely fearful that he didn't have enough fuel. We will see. If that car comes to a grinding halt in the next 2.5 minutes, we'll know we made the wrong call, and Nick will leave with a race win in the series, something which has eluded him up until this point. Currently sitting P4 in the championship. We'll get our calculators out at the end to see if Nick will gain any places in the championship. He is fairly close to those around him. But here is Ona. Fastest lap after fastest lap this race, but now is he tentatively driving around, or is he flat out? He's still flat out, Owen.
Yeah, I'm just trying to monitor his exit, like how much throttle he puts on exit. Maybe that is where he is saving the drips of fuel, but the acceleration points, he's obviously keeping it to full throttle. Yeah, I just don't see where he is claiming back that fuel. But his lap times are obviously not what they used to be.
No, for sure. But there we are. We're on the final lap, Owen, so I think we can begin to reflect on what has been a fantastic race and a showcase again for the Formula 60 mod. Yeah, only the second race, I believe. Did we have the Formula 60 in RTFR this year, or am I dreaming? We did have it. We have it. Did we? Roni's in the chat. He'll fill us in. My brain is mush tonight, apparently. I don't know. I don't think we have used it in RTFR this year, but we certainly used it in Kassav. It was great in that. It's been great in this. Street Obsessions were correct to use this car, I think, for their series. It's certainly been entertaining tonight. Roni says no. It hasn't been used in RTFR yet. Roni, why not? Come on.
Someone might be paying attention in the broadcast or in the VOD. They might want to pick it if they win RTFR before the end of the season. But yeah, Owner has made it to the final corner. We'll see exactly what his message in the chat was indicating, but I believe the checkered flag will greet him very, very soon, Pete.
It absolutely will. What a drive. Yeah, it looked in doubt at one point. Nick had him turn for turn, but in the end, he comes across the line to win quite comfortably, actually, ahead of TC Racing's Nick. Here he comes across the line in P2 then. Yeah, it's a good effort all round from Nick, I have to say. But there we are. Owner, your winner today. Winner of the whole championship. He will take the victory comfortably in the end. Casting a shadow of doubt in our minds as to whether he was going to be able to make it to the end. He did in the end. Coming across the line there was Dims for six speed. Will take the podium. Then it is Sue, just short of the mark, only a couple of seconds in the end behind Dims. Across the line next will be Leandro 911, wherever he is. Actually, where is he? Where is he gone? Where has that man gone?
Leandro is really struggling. He's just waving about on the final corner exit. So he realizes his game is up. He just wants to. Maybe he's the one who's out of fuel. I think he's just coasting to the line.
What's he done? He's given a position to Carlson. I mean, that is unorthodox on the line. So Carlson takes P5. That's bizarre. Leandro 911 for Furtive Jr. takes P6. Why would you do that? I mean, this doesn't make sense. Kairos in P7, Genius G in P8 for Team America, recovering after spearing off both of his teammates in one of the most dramatic events that happened in this race. He took out both of his teammates in that incident, flipped Lallaroo on his roof, and Joyner got sent to the back of the race. Ramdaborg comes across the line in P9, and then Ray finishes in P10 with Vorinen in P11. We are just waiting for We're just waiting for Joyner somewhere out on track, I believe, and that will be that. Or is that everybody? Is he retired? Did we miss that?
We might have.
He has retired from the race, so we have 11 finishers in this one. We can go down the full order, the full final classification for round number 6 of the championship. Here it is. Apparently, he joined the spectators about 10 minutes ago. Can you believe it? So we missed it while we were focusing on other things. I'm sorry about that, Joyner. 4 laps. He is registered as being behind. But it is owner, the number 31, who finished in 50 minutes and 21 seconds. 6 seconds behind in the end was Nick for TC Racing. 6-speed Dims finishes in P3, rounding out our podium for this event. Sue, 30 seconds behind in P4. Then we've got Carlson for Street Obsessions, Leandro 911 for Furtive Jr., who gave away a position at the line and was slightly robbed by Dims, we reckon, in a bit of a squeeze on the back straight, causing him to spin. He finishes P6. Kairos for Street Obsessions in P7. Team America's Jenny SG, the highest finishing Team America driver. Mostly his own engineering, actually, that Owen. Taking out both his teammates in the process. Then we have Ramdeborg in P9 and Ray in P10. Final finisher was Voronin in P11, the number 69. And then DNFs for Team America's Joyner, Team America's Lauru, and Ali for KBR, who timed out of the race early on, 16 laps down. Fastest lap going to owner, who is your series champion, the Season 2 Street Obsessions Racing League champion, who won every single race on his way there. So congratulations to him, a monumental achievement, actually, to do it in that fashion. I think you'll agree, Owen.
Yeah, that's absolutely exceptional to deliver each and every time in this season of Street Obsessions Racing League. And yeah, full and hearty congratulations on securing the championship once and for all. Well done.
Yeah, Nick celebrating there by doing donuts around his competitor. So we appreciate that. Very skillful donuts around there. Which brings to a close this series. We've only covered it for one round, but it was an exciting round nonetheless, and another good showcase of the mod. We have to mention that the amount of effort that goes into the mods for Live for Speed is you cannot downplay it. And there's no exception. Faku23 doing a fantastic job with this one. And there's a little bit of abuse going on now on the track. We should probably turn the cameras off.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit violent here. Get the film board out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you have it, folks. That is the final round of the Street Obsessions Racing League for Season 2 done. With the Formula 60 mod at Aston North, we've been Sim Broadcasts, Owen and Pete in the commentary box. Chris, of course, in the background, giving us all the information we need to bring you the action. And that wraps it up here. We hope you enjoyed it. We have a lot of stuff coming up on our channel, namely the 6 Hours of Aston, which is taking place this weekend, live from 12 o'clock UTC. On Sunday. I haven't actually checked how many teams we've got. I think I can probably find that out while I'm talking about it. But plenty of teams going to be taking part in that one. So please join us for coverage on Sunday, 11:45 UTC in the morning. If you're in that time zone, you'll have to do the adjustments yourself. If not, just going to find out how many signups we've got. Signups have closed, unfortunately. If you were thinking of putting in a team. But it looks like we have around about 25 teams, which is going to be fantastic. LMP2s, qualifying's done. The order is set, and it was Number and Gabor who took pole position in their LMP2. So we do hope you can join us for that one. We will finish our broadcast with the trailer for that series. It's a fantastic trailer put together by the Argentina Turismo team. And we hope to see you all on Sunday for that. Thanks to Street Obsessions for having us along for this event. We appreciate them for putting it on for us, and we hope you enjoyed our broadcast. Owen, thanks very much again for joining me for this one. It's been great to have you in the commentary box. See you all next time.
Goodbye now, everyone.
Welcome back. A slight Easter egg at the end of the stream. We don't do these very often, do we, Owen? The little Easter eggs post-credit scene. Let's call it that.
Yep.
We ended the broadcast slightly prematurely, it turns out, because Chris did his magic in the background and has given us the final classification of the championship. We know that CRT7 is our victor owner, but he has given us the results as stands. There's no change in the top 4 in the championship. It will be owner who takes the win. Everybody else stays in that position. And so there we go. Denkin plays P3, Piggy 501 in P4, Nike LV P5, Arturo in P6, Not Rai in P7, Ben Ray P8, North Jana P9, Kevin Racer P10, Pedro from Master Race Car in P11, Johnson in P12, Leandro 911 in 13th, G-Ben Jacontera in P14, Santa 99 15th, Timi Soini P16, Johnny SVK 17th, Kramer 84 in 18th, and Emra Han in P19 is your results, which wraps up the season nicely. Apologies, Chris, we went off air quite quickly while he was calculating it, but there you are. That is the final classification for the championship. So congrats to owner, congrats to the top 4, and for maintaining their positions in the championship. We'll see you at the next one. Good night.